ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहि तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। In the last class we have been discussing that मयि च अनन्य योगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी. So that means what we need to have, that I need to have that ananya vyabhicharini bhakti. So I say that the bhakti, the devotion should be constantly, steadily, unswearing, unshaken, and with reference to what? Mai, to Ishvaraha. Here Lord Krishna says Ishvaraha. And of course with Ananya Yogena, with undivided attention. Not this special yoga, okay, called Bhakti Yoga. That is only, Krishna says, only if you have this, then only that is the yoga, other are not like that. However, we were discussing that if you look at Vedanta, so Vedanta talks in short that the bhakti is divided into two categories. One is Sakama Bhakti, other one is Nishkama Bhakti. So when we have this Sakama Bhakti, this is how under four categories of devotees. Who are they? Arti, Artharthi, then comes Jigyasu and Jnani. So we leave one group that is called Moksharthi. Why we leave Moksharthi? Because even if a person who is Arti or Artharthi is also Moksharthi. So when you are in distress, you want to be free from distress. So for you, moksha is freedom there. You understand? Problem, freeing yourself from the problem. Now when we look at these four type of devotees, we put, if you want to put another one also 5, but 4 is perfect. That's why we say that from Arti to Artharthi is very common, people keep jumping. From this to become that Moksharthi and Jigyasu, there is a quantum jump. Then finally Jnani. Now we have been discussing how this Sakama karma becomes Niskama karma. How this Sakama bhakti becomes Nishkama bhakti. So this we need to understand carefully. Because if we observe our life all the time, either for yoga or kshema, I am engaged in activities, sometimes for both. But here there is no end to it, because yoga and kshema will continue. Yoga means that what you have not achieved yet, you want to achieve. Kshema means whatever you have achieved, you want to maintain it. In fact, there is no end to it. The list will keep, going on and on, especially when you are waiting in the airport for a long time, flight delay, then suddenly, counter opens. Then after counter opens, they print, okay, that tuck, 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 tuck sound, okay. So you are so irritated. How long that printing is going on, okay? All the passengers list. Tuck, 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 tuck sound will. So like that, this list keep, extending. However, when you have this sakama karma becomes nishkama karma, you can say sakama bhakti to become nishkama bhakti. With desires, there is one transition period, there comes gratitude. That is what we were discussing in the last class. So when there is transition period, so what you need to do in that transition period? So that you need to be very careful. So where you are no more interested neither in yoga nor kshema, because you understand what is to be unfolded, it will unfold. There comes complete, let us say, surrender, and because of that reason, now your gratitude starts. And because of gratitude, you become selfless. It's not that you have to practice being selfless. Okay, I am doing selfless service. Not this way. You can see this other way around. Now, once surrender comes, gratitude, way of living, then you become selfless because your insecurity does not pop up. Because once your insecurity pops up, whether you like it or not, you will become a selfish. Then the next step would be that even if you are selfless, even if you have surrendered or there is gratitude, but that does not mean that you are not connected to the world. So there we call as you become more interested in location. This is what is being highlighted. That there are three types of desire. We say the first desire is putreshana, related to your progeny. Second type of ashana desire, ashana means desire, is related to vitta, security. And third one is more dangerous, called lokeshana, desire to related to the world. People should respect me. People should acknowledge me. People should say that I am good. In fact, that desire is dangerous desire. Many Swamijis, many sadhakas do get caught up in this location. And here he says the next step would be that I am not connected to the worldly activities or motives, including that location, but now I am directed only to divinity. Without Ishvara, I don't have anything. Then only the person from Moksharthi becomes Jigyasu. Understanding the concept of Ishvara, concept of Moksha. Then only the final stage comes because of the teaching, exposed to the teaching, or the person starts understanding teaching. Then what will happen? The person will start understanding Ishvara and can say there is no difference between me and Ishvara. And when I understand that I am not different from Ishvara, but whenever I consider I am different from Ishvara, it is my insecurity, my individuality, my ajnanam, ignorance, or it is habitual error. Because the moment I come to this conclusion that whenever I consider that I am different from God, it is not because I am different from God, but because of my habitual error. So there, I need to be careful, I need to put effort to get back. It's exactly like a prince when he was just 4-year-old boy. The enemy group attacked and somehow the queen and this prince could escape through the secret pathway and king was being killed. And of course the minister knew it and managed to save this prince. Prince started growing up in the neighboring country as an ordinary child. In fact, he was very good in begging. And the minister allowed so that nobody could recognize that he is a prince or else life is in danger. So in due course of time, when the minister understood this is the right time to bring back the prince because the enemy group have come down, so we can reinstall. Now when he brings back and made him as a king, now this young prince has become king, goes in palanquin, now suddenly discovers there is some sweet distributed. Now what he will do, what he did, he jumped out of this palanquin and first one to pick up the sweet. So everybody say, hey, look, you are king. Hey, look, keep it. I am what? So this I am what, that is called habitual error. So in spite of being escorted by people, but because of this habitual error, that too impulsive, the person jumps out of it. Knowing the fact that I am not a beggar, knowing the fact I am not the street boy earlier, I am king now, still that habitual error takes over. So also me, God. That's why the teaching is to be continued, to understand more and more, to take care of the habitual error rather anything. That's why what is to be done when the person starts looking at this devotion aspect, that too which is unwavering. We all have this devotion, but it fluctuates. It is like love. So everybody loves. Tell me who does not love or who does not want to be loved. I want to be loved, unwavering love from others. But when it comes to me, do I love someone in that way? But I expect in that way. So here, devotion means pure and we call as unwavering love. That's why knowledge of God only makes you be a devotee. Not like common way. So you love somebody without knowing. So whatever you know, you love. Tomorrow when you come to know some other thing, your love fades away. That's why amore amara. And moreover, when I have devotion, mind is focused, mind is peaceful. Not only that, always my mind starts thinking in order, that is channelized thinking, and moreover, mind is always ready to surrender, not to become boss. I do not justify, I do not try to prove, because there is no need to justify, no need to prove. That's why you might have observed When somebody tries to justify with me, that time I just either ignore or okay, we'll see, don't worry, good. Because there is no other alternative. That's why only that person, what will happen, will be free. Or else what will happen, if you do not follow in this way, there will be rigidity, your thinking will be narrow, opposite, definitely there will be dependency, and always you will try to escape from your duties. So coming back in the last class, that we discussed that Navadha Bhakti, 9 types of bhaktis, devotions, Smaranam, Kirtanam, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Dashyam, Shakhyam, Atmanivedanam, iti. So when we look at this, what we need to do, there also we need to be very careful how that other things were there. What? Pada Sevanam, Achavanam, Bandhanam also. These 3 I left it. So when all this Navadha Bhakti to be adopted, it is based on your situation. Not what is convenient to you, but in fact what is lacking in you. Generally people take that aspect, what is comfortable to you. The best example goes, even though not to be brought, still I can bring, especially when we try to look at this, that our Vaschalya Bhava, we bring this point, from there it comes. Even though Yashoda, the mother of Lord Krishna, such a great devotee, but conveniently Vaschalya Bhavam was so strong in her, even though once Lord Krishna tried to show his mouth because he was eating, soil, and mother caught, open your mouth, I want to see where you are eating. And the moment Lord Krishna opened his mouth, saw the entire universe. But the mother could not see it, in fact started having chakkar, okay? She was so dizzy, she fainted. Because conveniently, when you look at conveniently any aspect, that also may happen. Let me not stretch too much. So when this thing is there, so in short, you need to learn to devote your mind. And if you do not devoting means what? Not giving too much importance to your ego, your likes, your preferences, your knowledge. And when you don't do this, then your mind will make you to divert a lot. So better to do that. Once this happens, then comes the next one, very comfortable and very nice. Vivikta desha shavitvam arati jana sansari. One will prefer to be alone, free from crowd. Remember, being alone and feeling lonely, there is a difference. Aloneness and loneliness, there is big difference. You can be, please understand, alone, need not feel lonely. And not to feel lonely, you need to work a lot. If you have not seen all these developments and you want to be alone, definitely it's a disaster. This is the Gen Z present day. Gen Z are alone, also feel lonely. That's why the phone becomes the best friend. I remember When we grew up, not every cases, some cases we had good thing. In short, the children used to grow up with the parents. And of course, as you grow up, brothers and sisters, sometimes you have to share the same room. And thank God, it was great. Nowadays what happens? All are having not one room, one house, okay? One floor. So all are alone, but they do not know how to manage that aloneness. Then they feel lonely. And when you feel lonely, what you do? You are engaged in many things. So you choose to be alone, but you end up feeling lonely, and you don't have courage to have a relationship. Then you end up having relationship with the dogs, cats, you understand, animals. If that also you cannot handle, so then have a relationship with the, this robo, electronic gadgets, whatnot. So that means what? Again, you are feeling lonely. Can you see this point? So unless you develop all these above qualities, or you put effort on above qualities, don't withdraw yourself. Don't come to a conclusion. The last stage, what is that? That where you withdraw completely yourself. So only that you can do when you have above qualities. That's why you need to learn to retire only when you know how to handle your mind. Or else what will happen? You know better. People end up in ashrams. And they make ashram as worst place. Because a few days, few months, they are very good. After a few days or few months, what happens? They convert ashram as their place. Because they have not developed these qualities. So Vivikta Desha Sevitvam under this category comes. Very carefully we use. To start with, I would like to say, wherever you are, try to find out, try to create a corner place for you in your house, where you are undisturbed if your place is crowded. And if you have a room, if you can afford, better to have a separate room. That is your space. If not, one corner, that's enough for you. In fact, once you close your eyes, you will discover that it makes no difference who are there in the house, who are not there. In the beginning, it may create some issue. Later on, everybody will understand. And if they don't understand, it's their problem. Don't worry. And moreover, we have different points. Those days, we used to go to jungle. Now there is no jungle. And wherever little bit jungle is there, all animals. That's why jungle should be free from tiger, free from wild animals. Nowadays, all the jungle we have eaten up, little bit whatever is there, they do not know what to do. In fact, they are coming to the cities now, especially elephants in India. Or bank of the river. Bank of the river is very good place to meditate, for your kind information. Especially when you are drowned with the thoughts, you are not able to manage your thoughts, better to spend some time on the bank of the river. Because how the water keeps flowing, while keeping your eyes closed, allow your thoughts to flow? Because the problem is you don't allow your thoughts to flow. You hold on to your thought. Today I was talking this point. Let me share with this thing, then I'll stop it. I was listening to somebody, very nicely person pointed out that we all make 3 types of mistakes in life. And because of these 3 mistakes, always we make our life complicated. Also, we make others' life complicated too. The first one is, with reference to past, we rationalize a lot. Anything that has happened in the past, we use all our thinking faculty to rationalize, to see in and out. In fact, all the time only we spend time with reference to past. And while rationalizing our past, second mistake would be we exaggerate our present situation. And when we start exaggerating our present situation, then what happens? Now we are not aware of it. We unsee our future. And especially what is going to happen in the future, we don't acknowledge, we don't give importance. Because the exaggerated version of present is so painful or so pleasurable, both. It's exactly like the cat. So cat is hungry, thinking what to do, what not to do. Now comes across this milk pot. Now what will do? Even though milk is hot, we'll put inside. So exaggerating, so interesting, hot, cold, you understand? So hungry and hot, both. But doesn't want to leave because what will happen? Then finally what happens? The owner comes and hits with a stick. How the cat goes through this painful situation, we all also go through this sort of situation in our life. Because we are not ready. That's why be alone, but don't feel lonely. And if you start feeling lonely, it is better to be with people and get suffocated than being alone and feeling lonely. You understand the concept? It is better to feel suffocated with people than being alone and feeling lonely. Yes, for you is bad, for others is good, okay? Be lonely, be alone. One problem is less for others. Appa. With this, we will see how I have to see my life with Ishvara. Because when I have this attitude, then I deal with my Ishvara, my Ishta Devata, not as different from me. At the same time, when any problem happens, when I look at myself as body-mind complex, I relate with Ishvara as total body-mind complex. I relate with Ishvara in different level. I can ask, I need not ask. I can cry, I need not cry. I relate with Ishvara while keeping my eyes open, also while closing my eyes. In fact, relating Ishvara is not a burden. nor I take a credit that I am a devotee. I am relating with Ishvara. Whereas when I don't relate with my Ishvara, it is exactly like when child is with the mother, does not feel that is with mother. But when leaves mother, feels something wrong. That is what happens to a person who relates with Ishvara. I wish all of you that please keep relating with Ishvara, and remember, Ishvara is the primary relationship. All other relationships are secondary. Let this primary relationship continue forever. If not, in this life, moksha doesn't happen, let this continue. Some life or other will happen. With this, I am completing this series. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Punnat Punnamudachyate Punnasya Punnamadhaya Punnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.